In number 9, we have to be able to determine the measures of angle A, B, and C. So for the purpose of this example, I'm going to go ahead and find angle B first. So to find angle B, I have to make sure that in my formula, I have angle B written. So I'm going to be using the cosine law because I have no angles, and this is not a 90-degree angle triangle. So cosine of B is in my triangle. So that means I have to have B squared at the beginning. The two other sides are A squared and C squared. And then we subtract 2 by these same sides, so A and C, and then times cosine of B. So this is to find angle B. So B is across from capital B, which is 14.2 squared. Lowercase a is 15.7 squared. And lowercase c is 13.5 squared. Then I just kind of rewrite that, negative 2 brackets 15.7, 13.5, and then cosine of b, which we don't have. We're looking for that. There's a whole whack of math that you can do in this line. So when you take out your calculator, just take your time and start with 14.2 squared. So 14.2 squared is 201.64. Then we can move along to doing, 15.7 squared, which is 246.49. Then we can go ahead and do 13.5 squared, 182.25. And at this point, you can do this multiplication. So it's a 3-part multiplication, so 3 numbers being multiplied. It's negative 2 times 15.7 times 13.5. So it's negative 423.9. Don't forget to keep the multiplication by cos B very close by. There's still some math to be done here. So if you take a look at this, you can add these numbers. So I'm just going to go ahead and add those numbers together because I can. So 246.49 plus 182.25, 428.74. So 428.74 minus 423.9 cos B. So again, please be mindful that you cannot subtract 428.74 and 423.9 because there's a multiplication happening here. So now there's no more math to be done. You can't do anything on the left side. You can't do anything on the right side, but you still need to find cos of B. So put a box around all of what's with cos of B. And remember that the first step is to subtract. Always. It's always the same. Once you get to this spot, you subtract. But subtract what? You want to get rid of 428.74. And to cancel out a plus 428.74, we have to subtract 428.74 on both sides. So you just calculate that. 201.64 minus 428.74. And it gives us a negative. So negative 227.1. That cancels out, and that's the whole point. Okay, so that all equals to whatever is left. So 423.9 cos of B. So now we're still looking for B. At this point, the second step is to divide because there's a multiplication happening here. So we have to divide both sides by 423, negative 423.9, sorry. So when I do that, I get negative 227.1 divided by negative 423.9. And there's a really long number. Okay, so I get a cosine answer, but I don't want to write that down because it's too long and I don't want to round it. But I'm not looking for the cosine of B. I'm looking for angle B, which means I need to cancel out the cos by doing cosine of negative 1 on my calculator without writing anything down. So I go to sine or cosine of negative 1. Don't make the mistake of using sine, it won't work. And if we round this to the nearest degree, we get angle B equals, I think it was 58 degrees. And that's what angle B is equal to. So when you're solving for all angles, for question 9, you can say that angle B equals 58, approximately, because it was rounded, okay, don't forget the dot, approximately 58 degrees. So if I put that where the 58 degrees is supposed to go, now I can use the sine law to find angle A or angle C. And from there, once you have two angles, you're able to use 180 minus. So usually cosine law is used first, then you can use sine law, and then you could go ahead and use the 180 minus. So review these steps, see how that goes, but the hardest step would be right when you have to start solving for the cosine of B. So right when you have to start subtracting and then dividing. But if you remember these two steps, it should make it just a little bit easier for you.